According to the federal government, 9,711 miles of our state rivers and over 500,000 acres of our lakes are polluted, and frankly, they could be considered impaired. Is that the case? Are you aware of it?
Yes to both.
And so, what are we doing?
Well, I'll say two things, and if Erin wants to chime in, she's welcome to as well. You know, our water bodies, we issue permits that are protective of human health and the environment, right? And we take in consideration what's that baseline. So what are you going to be putting into what's already in the river? We're at the very bottom of the United States when you look at a whole lot of river basins. And so our waters are just, that baseline is a little worse off than in other states because you've got all the sediment flowing from all the way down to hit the Gulf. I will also say we have a division in our Office of Water, our Water Quality and Planning Division, and they're the folks that review these, what we call TMDLs, and we have had issues hitting the mark on how many TMDLs.
I'm sorry, what's a TMDL?
Total maximum daily load. So what's the total amount of constituents, I guess would be the best word, that you can discharge into a water body? Does that make sense?
Well, we've been talking about water and the need for water being, frankly, the new oil. And when we have state rivers and lakes that are polluted or impaired, I'm trying to figure out what we're getting from your agency as the agency responsible for monitoring and making certain that these lakes and rivers are taken care of.
Sure, and it's a concern we all share. And so when
I understand it's a concern,
yeah.
All due respect. The question is, what are we doing?
Sure, thank you. When a water body is impaired, we assign a TMDL to them. So that total maximum daily load. So that's kind of the scientific reasoning. Clarify, what's the word I'm looking for? How would you describe a TMDL more clearly?
It's just, it's a limit.
Yeah. These are the limits that then build your discharge permit. So depending on what the TMDL is for that impaired body, that goes into what your permit limit is when it comes to discharges. So one point I do want to say, that division, we are behind. If you look at the LBB performance measures, we're behind on our TMDLs. We have more vacancies in that division than any other division in our Office of Water. And in order to get those impaired water bodies clean up to a cleaner level, it takes people being able to work on it, and we're behind.
And so you're saying that you lack the staff in order to make certain that the TMDLs are met?
I believe that's a big portion of why. Also, quantity, how many river bodies, how many... Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you said, I believe. Mm-hmm. Is that the case or not? The bodies are the problem. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, when you have like 9,711 miles of rivers that are impaired, that's a lot of rivers.
It is. It is.
And then we look at the lakes, 1,200 square miles of lakes within our state, or estuaries.
Right. So, yes, I'm going to say the answer is the bodies and the funding to support that. That funding hasn't been increased in years. And we cannot tackle all the impaired rivers without the people and the money in order to do that.
But can you tell the members of this committee the impact that has on citizens in the state of Texas when we have rivers and lakes as polluted as we currently have? What's the impact?
Well, I would say that when we're issuing permits, we're looking at all that before we issue a permit. And so we are being protective of human health and the environment when we're issuing those permits. Now, if you live near a river or near a lake and there's a status that, it says it's impaired and you shouldn't play in it, then yeah, that's going to impact you. And that's going to impact how you're able to enjoy that water body. And, no one likes to see that. But yeah, I think it impacts how you might want to use the river in your personal life.
Okay, and again, I know enough about water to just kind of turn the shower on in the morning. Okay?
Right.
Is any of those waters used for our water supply?
Well, yes, but it all has to be treated to a certain level before it can come into human contact. And so it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's got to be treated to a certain level before you can brush your teeth with it, before you can do whatever. Now, if you're, pulling water from a more impaired body, obviously you're going to have to treat it to a higher level.
All right, so the question is, are we pulling water from any impaired bodies in the state of Texas?
Yes. I think that's safe to say. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for our director of water.